Alexa, turn on the lights in the bedroom. There we go.
How fucking lazy are you? Get your butt up and go flip a switch.
I can't do that. There's no way to do that. You have to tell her to do that.
How is it only a computer can turn on your light, but you can't?
When you live with Danathan, that's what happens.
You know what? I'm going to tell Dan you just threw him under the bus.
It's a true story. Everything is a word here. I don't even know how to turn the lights on.
I'm just waiting for her to be like, do you want to turn the lights on? The lights are already on. What the hell's wrong with you?
I didn't say the A word. You have to say the A word. I'm about to say an A word though, Jacqui, because you're being one, but whatever.
This episode is going to be full of sass and a few adult words. Hold on to your hat because we've got a lively chat here today with two funny and smart guests. We're going to give a modern look at some historical events with a whole lot of laughs guaranteed, so stick around. Hello friends, I'm your hostess Jacqui Lents, and welcome to the Jacqui Just Chatters podcast, because every story deserves its spotlight. Whether you are new here or a repeat visitor, I'm pleased you joined me for this storytelling podcast, and there are so many stories told today, so let's just get into it. We are back with two literary ladies. Tiffany, the most cheerful woman on YouTube, the bubbliest person on the planet, hosts a successful YouTube channel and is more likely known by her handle, the Beach Bum Bookworm. Welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Jacqui. Thanks. Hi, Sonia.
Hi, Tiffany.
Good segue. Thank you. My other guest is Sonia, the most extra friend you could ever want. She's a frequent guest here on Jacqui Just Chatters and also hosts a wonderful YouTube channel called Sonia with an I. Welcome back, Sonia.
Thank you, Jacqui. Hi, Tiff Bestie.
It's just going to be a love fest tonight.
I have my Beach Bum Bookworm bestie, my YouTube bestie, and then I have my Michigan bestie. So all the besties are in the house.
That's right.
Just the way I like it on a Friday.
All the
This
love.
is how you do
And
it.
I have my Mystery Machine mug. It finally arrived in one piece. Okay, before we get going, since this is the start of the whole cozy autumn season, this is going to be tough. I want you guys to give one fall book suggestion for our listeners because you guys are such bookish babes. So one cozy, autumny kind of book. You can only do one.
My suggestion would be The Traveling Cat Chronicles by Hiro Arikawa. Even though it is not just fall, the cover is very fall, and it has the theme of fall, the whole letting go and the change of things. So that would be my suggestion.
Why should people read that?
A, because it's a good book and I told them to, and B, you said, hey, sass, because I think that fall is all about letting go and the change of things and changing from one season to another. And the book emulates what fall really is. And I just think it's a lovely book. It's a wonderful journey of a man and his beloved cat told from the point of view of the cat, who is very sassy and a lot of fun.
I love it.
Kitty narrator.
Yeah.
All right, Tiffany, lay it on us.
All right. A Doomful of Sugar. It's the first book in the Maple Syrup Cozy Mystery series by Catherine Bruns. It takes place in Sugar Ridge, Vermont, and it does take place in the fall. And it's just everything that you picture and love that you want in the fall, all wrapped up into like just this cozy goodness.
Agreed. I love that book too.
Maple syrup.
Yeah.
I can't eat pancakes without it. That's my thing of choice.
Yeah.
Why would you?
I'll go to IHOP and like they have that whole tray of all the different syrups. And I'm just like, that's nice. Give me the maple. That's what belongs. I'm an old-fashioned girl.
I want the container of maple syrup, and then I'm going to plop a butter in it and then mix it all together. That's how I like to eat it. And then I like to dunk. I don't like to pour.
My
course you
grandmother she used to mix peanut butter into the syrup,
Mm.
like for
What?
us when we were kids.
I've never heard of that.
Oh yeah, peanut butter into the maple syrup. And
Whip it.
So peanut butter goes good with maple syrup. I never
Oh
would have thought
yeah.
that.
oh
Yeah.
yes.
I would never in a million years put those two things together. Like I get the salty sweet thing, but I don't know. They just feel like two very different things.
Oh, you need to have pancakes tomorrow for breakfast. Totally. And then report back about your peanut butter maple syrup
Okay,
mixture.
what's the ratio? How much syrup to how much peanut butter?
Like 2 to 1. Like definitely not as much peanut butter. Like you're gonna do
Okay.
more maple syrup and then just mix a little bit of peanut butter. And the same amount as you mix like maybe with butter, like just a small amount.
Okay, so 2 tablespoons of syrup to 1 tablespoon or 1 teaspoon of peanut butter.
I would say not a full tablespoon of peanut butter, but a little more than a teaspoon.
Okay, so like a heaping teaspoon
Yeah.
and 2 tablespoons. Okay,
A plop.
very scientific. Yes, a
You-
scooge. Actually, it's more than a scooge. It's plop.
Yeah. I'm speaking hillbilly terms. A plop.
Just measure with your heart.
That's right. Measure with your spirit. Call your ancestors in. Measure with your
I-
spirit.
Her ancestors
pretty
did
sure
not mix peanut butter and maple syrup.
That's right.
my ancestors did not combine those two. I can tell you that.
She got bougie ancestors. My ancestors
Um,
did it all day long.
Okay. Listeners, if you are part of the Maple Syrup Peanut Butter Club, come on Instagram or Facebook or something or YouTube and share the maple love. I apparently am in the minority on this.
Maple syrup on peanut butter, and make it into a peanut butter sandwich. So it'd be peanut butter and maple syrup mixed together to make it a little sweeter.
That sounds so messy.
Sometimes you
I
get
miss messy, but so sometimes you have to get messy to never mind.
sometimes you have to get messy for it to be enjoyable.
There you go.
No.
For it to be good.
Yeah, don't be for what does Mrs. Frizzle say? Make mistakes, get messy, that sort of thing. I'm quoting Mrs. Frizzle from Magic School Bus, whatever.
Yeah, you're not thinking dirty things at all.
And I don't ever think dirty things. I don't know what you're talking
Ever.
about or implying. Never. Pure as the driven snow.
You can see the halo. I can say that because they can't.
That's right.
There's no way
We
to
can
prove
make
it.
up anything. I'm so geeked to have you ladies joining me for the opening episode of this season series of Hot Takes on Old News, where I'm going to read a vintage news article, add a little context, and my guests are going to be commenting on everything. And I know both of you are completely up to this task.
I don't ever have any opinions, so
Never.
this might be a struggle for me.
Never. I hardly talk. I'm very quiet.
Oh, I wish you guys need to see this. Sonia is like almost spitting up her.
How dare you, Sonia? How dare you?
And those of you who are fans of Friends, she just did the Ross maneuver with the fist bump. And if you don't know what I mean, then you got to go look that up. If you are missing out.
That is Tiffany and I, our love call.
It's absolutely the love language between us. Snarky animosity with love.
And lots of sarcasm.
Okay.
And a little
We
bit
are ready.
a little bit of innuendo. Sorry.
Oh no, like I know I'm getting interrupted all night. That's fine.
Excellent. I'm excited for it. That
Me
sounds
too.
fun.
I'm ready.
Okay. We are ready to travel back in time. Can you hazard a guess in which decade we are landing?
No.
Is there
clue.
any other clues?
It's between 1900 and 2000. So it's a
1940.
decade. 1940. Okay.
The prohibition, the 20s.
20s. Okay. Tiffany is closest. We are going back to the 1910s, 1914 specifically. So 1914, for those of you who, like me, didn't live back then, but want to get a sense of what's going on. I don't think I have any listeners from the 1914 crowd. The population of the United States was just below 100 million people. Today, it's over 300 million. World War I is going to start in 1914, but that's not going to happen till July. To get someplace, we're walking. If you lived in a city, streetcars were a fancy option. Most people lived in a 3-generation house that they did not own. This one really got me. People ate as much lard as chicken.
For whatever reason, is not real surprising because I feel like they didn't have the other options.
They didn't have the grocery store to go pick it up in the meat department.
Right.
I also
Olive oil
like,
wasn't a thing.
No.
yeah. I also feel like in that time I'm just used to growing up in an Amish community where there was no way to make anything that was preserved, so everything was fresh and everything was like the real stuff like lard and all of those things.
All I can think about is heart disease.
Yeah, yeah.
Made me wonder, were they eating a heck of a ton of lard or just very little chicken?
And I mean, I'm sure they're not just eating like chunks of lard too. They're probably making it into like pies and cakes, and it like pie
You
dough.
grease your pan.
Right.
Yeah.
Grease your pan with it. The pie dough, you make pie dough with lard, which is really tasty. But so maybe they were eating more like carb based sort of things because flour and all of that is easier to access than meat was.
This is a time period where if you cooked your eggs with butter versus lard, that showed like you were upper middle class or something. You were fancy.
That was bougie.
That's right. Very bougie. And if you're a male and you're thinking about, okay, I need to get started on my career, the average age for that was 14 years of age. The vote for women was still 6 years away.
Of course.
Which will come into play in my news story here. Okay, so this one takes place January 23rd, 1914, from the twice a week Twin Falls Times, the Copperfield Raid. Something new in law enforcement was seen in Oregon a few days ago when Governor Oswald West sent a girl of 25, his private secretary, to a remote mining district to direct the cleanup of a tough town and the arrest of 5 officials, including the mayor, by military authority on charges of illegal liquor selling. Miss Fern Hobbes is the name of the young woman who commanded the expedition.
A girl of 25.
Yeah, that's not sexist at all.
No.
It just goes to show what the level of respect that women had in that time period.
If she was married in 14, she would be a woman of 14.
You know.
I do have to say this though. At 25, I wouldn't want to be called a girl. Now that I'm twice that age, please call me a girl. Call me a girl. No, I guess it depends on the person. It depends on how they say it.
Don't call me a good girl because I'm not a golden retriever.
I definitely wouldn't have liked it when I was 25.
No.
Oh.
No.
And it probably would, I think that they would mean it in a completely different way if they said it when I was 25. It would be meant to be condescending as opposed to now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I was a year from tenure at 25. I was married at 25. No, I would not have. That would have made me mad.
Absolutely. Tiffany, what were you doing at 25?
I was maybe like a year into my career, maybe a year and a half. I was definitely a girl in the sense of the world because I was still very immature, but I would not have liked it to have been called that.
I was just starting teaching at my high school, not the high school I taught at. So I was doing government and economics with seniors. Okay, so this Fern Hobbes, to help you guys get a picture of what she looked like, she sported her granny glasses and barely weighed 100 pounds.
Same.
Soaking wet?
Maybe she was 101 soaking wet.
Oh my gosh.
I can relate. Same.
That's tiny.
Yeah.
It is very tiny. What do you guys think her life was like before she charged in to clean up the tough Western town?
Good Lord, I don't know.
Like, what kind of woman would do that?
I would assume she was in some sort of unbalanced relationship with her boss that she was the
Probably.
secretary for.
I don't think she was
Interesting.
prepared for this.
Okay. Fern was born in Bloomington, Nebraska. Then her family moved to Salt Lake City, and then they moved to Hillsboro, Oregon. And her dad had a lot of financial problems, and Fern had to help raise her younger brother and sister. But she made sure to enroll them in school, and she supported her family by working as a governess in Portland while studying stenography. So this would have been like around 1900. She's studying stenography. Fern got a job as a secretary for the president of the Portland Title Guarantee and Trust Company, which failed while she was there, but I don't think there's any correlation. But after the bank's failure, she went back to being a governess while continuing her studies. And she was recommended to Governor West, and he hired her to work as his private stenographer. She was given the job and so impressed the governor, she then became his private secretary 2 years later, making her the first woman in Oregon to hold an important public position. And it also made her the highest paid woman in public service in the US. She earned about $3,000 a year, which, what do you guys think that is in today's money?
Oh, well over 100,000.
Mm.
No?
I would go way lower. I would say, I don't know, 40.
Okay. Depending on what game rules you're doing, Sonia, you're closest, but you went over.
So I win. No.
Tiffany went over too. She said the 20s and it's the teens.
Both of you went over
I
then.
know it too.
You look like a Muppet, Tiffany. me.
So $3,000 in 1914 in today's money is about $94,700.
Ooh.
About $100,000 round up. Yeah, I'm right. Thanks.
I mean, that's a lot of money she was
That's a
making.
lot of money. And Fern was way more accomplished than I expected. But even
Right.
for most women in her time in
Oh,
school and all this stuff,
yeah.
take back what I said. Maybe Fern's ready for this.
Yeah, maybe she's ready for it.
And I'm really now thinking it's disrespectful to call her a girl with all she's accomplished.
And making that kind of fat bank and can't even vote yet.
And add to this, in her spare time, she studied for a law degree and passed the bar in 1913.
Wow.
So in 1914, when she does this, she is a lawyer.
Wow.
Go Fern.
Yeah.
Me
So
too.
the idea that the governor hired her as some kind of side piece, oh no.
No.
She was capable as hell, and he knew it.
Yeah.
A female version of a hustler. Of a hustler. She a diva. Sorry.
He is.
She was interviewed in 1913 by the Oregon Journal, and they were asking her some questions. And this is a quote from her. "I would rather talk tariffs than fashions. I would rather read a law book than the latest bestseller. I believe women are less conceited than men and more reliable. I believe women ought to have a share in the affairs of government equal with the men."
I like Fern.
I do
like
too. She is a baller.
Why haven't we heard of her before? There needs to be some sort of Netflix special about this chick.
Right?
Yes.
Like a documentary?
Yes, that mini series thing coming up.
Yeah.
Okay, so going back to the article that we left 5 years ago. Oregon says the Brooklyn Eagle is one of our leading experimental states, and Miss Fern Hobbes is only one phase of a trend towards what is most novel in governmental methods. The story of how lawlessness in the village of Copperfield was suppressed on January 2nd may be summed up from the news reports in a few words. The municipal government, we read in the Oregon papers, was controlled absolutely by saloon keepers, who it is claimed persisted in violating the law. Now, one of the reasons the governor gets involved in all this is he's a teetotaler. He had also received letters from people living in Copperfield to complain about what was going on. And they said the saloon owners ran the place and had turned it into a haven for gambling and prostitution. Brawls and deadly gunfights were common. Okay, so this 100-pound chick with her granny glasses shows up, and she's going to tell these people what's what. I already see you laughing, Sonia. So what do you think's going to happen when she shows up?
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, no one is going to take her seriously. You girl of 25 or 30 or whatever you are.
You're just going to put her back on the train and send her packing?
Or make her work at the hooker house.
So that's what I say. They're going to solicit her to become
a hooker.
Crime.
I know, those granny glasses are so sexy.
Well, depending on who's wearing them. Depending on who's wearing them.
That's true. If Lucifer's wearing granny glasses, I don't care. I'm still climbing that man.
Oh my.
Put Henry Cavill in some granny glasses. I ain't mad.
Governor West sent Miss Hobbes to Copperfield with a squad of Coast Artillerymen under Colonel B.K. Lawson, superintendent of the state penitentiary. Miss Hobbes demanded on behalf of the governor that the saloon-keeping officials resign, and when they refused, she gave Colonel Lawson the word to declare martial law to close up the saloons by force. There was no display of arms, says a Portland, Oregonian correspondent. But when the military authorities had taken control, they searched and disarmed the citizens, and they found virtually everyone was armed.
What are the odds that the state penitentiary guy's last name would be Lawson?
It was made for that job.
Right? Like, I feel like you had no choice. It feels like a cozy mystery name.
Yeah.
Oh, your last name's Bakewell and you're a baker.
So Hobbes, she was a very smart woman, whether she was 25 or 30, it doesn't matter. And she's not above creating a little drama and buzz, because the more focus on this, it actually is better for her. And so she's on the train to Copperfield, and this reporter, of course, is asking questions. The reporter asks her, "Are you armed?" "Armed? Yes, I am. I have a handbag, a portfolio, and an umbrella. Do I look like Carrie Nation to you?" Which, for those of you who don't know, Carrie Nation was a 6-foot-tall temperance activist, and she was known for attacking taverns with a hatchet. She was a very hands-on temperance girl.
I know, when I go to a tavern, I always carry my spare hatchet.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
Yeah, mini series on her.
I feel like Fern was armed with her wits.
Yes.
Like
Fern was armed with her brains.
Yeah.
You are so correct, because this is the rest of the exchange. "How do you propose to proceed?" the reporter persisted. "To Huntington and then to Copperfield?" "When you get to Copperfield, what will you do?" "Close the saloons." "Who are you going to have help you?" "I am alone." Now, this was a lie. She was not alone. But saying she was alone adds a little salaciousness, because this is a time when women wouldn't have traveled alone. So the fact that she's on a train doing government business, this 100-pound woman, and she's supposedly alone, is very dramatic. This makes great story copy. She was actually there with B.K. Lawson, they mentioned, the Portland police chief, and 5 National Guardsmen. They were all on the train, but they were keeping a low profile. Like, they were letting her take command, and they were just waiting for her to tell them what to do. And the train hits Copperfield. Pretty much the entire population of the town shows up at the train station, all 80 of them. And they were hovering around her pretty menacingly. And so she stepped down from the coach. They didn't know how to deal with her, because they're angry men, they're armed. If this was a guy, there may have been a shootout. But because it's this little woman, like, what kind of grown man, like, harms this 100-pound chick? You're just a coward at that point. So they didn't know what to do. So she gets off. Exactly. And she gets off the train and just starts walking through town. And there's nothing they can do to stop her, because even they have a point of morality that they're not willing to cross.
Which, in all fairness, is probably why she was partly chosen for the job.
I think so. Colonel Lawson arrested Mayor Stewart, City Recorder Clark, and Councilman Wiegand, Warner, and Woodbury. Were you only allowed to be a councilman if your last name began with W?
With
W,
W.
right. Sounds like a law firm.
I thought it was a law firm too.
It does sound like it. All of them were told that if they did not ship their liquor and bar fixtures out of town by the following afternoon, Lawson would pile them up in the streets and burn them. And which, given the fact that there was a lot of booze there, that would have been one heck of a fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think the townspeople do?
Bonfire.
I think that it's going to go all Wild West.
Yeah, I think so too. Bonfire.
Orders were obeyed to the letter.
Oh.
There were rumors that the sheriff intended resisting the military authorities with an armed posse, but the only resistance offered was an injunction. So they're suing them, saying you can't do that.
This is
Which,
very
of course,
normal.
I know, right? Like, we could have a shootout. No, get the pen and paper.
Right. Wow.
So they issued this injunction to tell Hobbes and the rest of them to get the heck out. Colonel Lawson totally ignores the injunction. And eventually the injunction proceedings will start. Governor West directed Miss Hobbes to act as counsel for the executive department.
Wow.
She's a lawyer. So when it gets to that point, he says, yeah, you got to be our lawyer. A temporary city government was organized under the direction of Colonel Lawson. And when the ousted saloon men started several proceedings, Governor West said, let them enjoin and be damned. We will go right ahead and attend to our business. The executive's reason for ordering the raid was that he had been told that liquor was being sold to minors and that closing hours were not being observed. Newspaper editors seemed to give more attention to the part that Miss Hobbes played than the extraordinary legal procedure. The New York Tribune says, okay, it's going to get a little cringy here, so feel free to just let your outrage fly. So this is the New York Tribune. We like everything about Miss Fern Hobbes, from her name up and down. She sounds delightfully feminine in the best and most luscious Western style. Luscious? Ew.
What a degrading, like, of all adjectives you could use for a woman who's so accomplished.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she was one luscious woman.
Yeah.
Just hurts my head. Out of all the adjectives there are on the planet,
Yeah.
luscious. When I think luscious, I think of maybe if you went into the saloon or the dance hall, those women who are performing, maybe they're luscious. But someone who is making decisions, this smart, luscious.
She was
Right.
like a one-woman show for this.
I know.
Like from start to finish. Now she's like leading
Revolutionary,
the lawyer.
maybe, but luscious. Yeah, I mean, they for even now, women are valued for their looks and not for their brains, and not for the actions they take, and not their accomplishments. So apparently, she was cute. So that was what really mattered. We liked her because she was cute, not because she made all these decisions.
They continue with, and that she acts with true feminine dispatch. The citizens of Copperfield, Oregon can testify.
What is
They
a
have
feminine dispatch?
I don't know. Feminine dispatches.
Is that a all women's newspaper?
I don't even know what they mean by that.
I don't either.
No, it's just, now I feel like they're just making up crap.
Yeah,
This is a guy and he's writing about a woman and he doesn't know what to write.
men trying to write women. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's never had to write about a capable woman before.
That's, yeah.
He's probably written about maybe a showgirl or a socialite, not a lawyer. They have a direct way of doing things in Oregon. And we suspect that someday the United States of all America will be very grateful to this cheerfully experimental state. We salute Miss Fern Hobbes for what she has done and for the cheerful, interesting, and effective commonwealth which she represents. Governor West, says the San Francisco Bulletin, paid a thorny tribute to the practical abilities of women when he sent his feminine secretary to make the police authorities of Copperfield obey the order to close Copperfield saloons. Not every woman would care to undertake the job, but Miss Fern Hobbes was not appalled. The Bulletin wonders if there are many young women in Oregon of such surprising caliber as Miss Hobbes appears to possess. The New York Times thinks that even if the rum sellers should win their fight in the courts, they will never recover from their present humiliation and the ridicule from all their kind that will be the incident's inevitable sequel. Probably Governor West thought of that at the time when he selected her as secretary for that job.
Wow, the
Raising her,
lack of
they have to demean her.
Yeah, it's like a compliment sandwich. Like, we're just so shocked that she was capable of anything, not just pulling this off, but basically being anything other than
Female.
luscious female. Wow.
There is a slight deviation between the news article and what actually happened, of course.
Yes. Fake news.
When Hobbes came in and demanded the saloons close, and they had collected the weapons from the townsfolk. So notice this is an important thing. They de-armed the townsfolk.
They grabbed their torch and pitchforks and took them away.
Everybody was armed, Sonia.
Yeah, but they took them away.
That's right. So they took the guns, and then she says, okay, you have to close the saloons. And the mayor refused to resign or close the saloons. And he said, come on, men, we've got more guns at the saloon.
That's a perfect place to keep firearms where people are drinking heavy amounts of alcohol.
That's the hillbilly way.
Makes sense.
According to a reporter, Miss Hobbes stood a long minute as though transfixed. Then she took the governor's proclamation of martial law from her briefcase. Speaking calmly over a rising tide of hoots and jeers, she read with sharp, clear enunciation. Then she had Stewart, the town's council member, and other local official placed under arrest. She refused to allow them to speak with or send messages to their attorneys.
Oh.
I guess they didn't have you have the right to an attorney present. They didn't have that whole thing yet back then.
You know what? She may have known it, but she wasn't going to share that information.
Yeah.
Good for her.
The guardsmen, while all this whole everybody's paying attention to her, the guardsmen have been busy removing all the gambling paraphernalia from the saloons and then barring the doors so they couldn't get back in.
That's hysterical.
Hobbes and Lawson toured the town's main strip, checking on the men's work. Satisfied, Hobbes left Lawson and the soldiers to stand guard over the saloons and headed back to the depot. 80 minutes after she arrived in Copperfield, she was back on the train and heading home.
Wait, 80?
80 minutes?
20 minutes.
An hour and 20 minutes she's out. She's handled it. And then the article she gets is she was luscious. She's Superman, Wonder Woman coming in. Okay.
But she's luscious.
Right.
Wonder Woman.
What do you guys think happens to the town of Copperfield?
I don't think there is a Copperfield after this.
It dissipated.
Y'all not wrong. A few months after her visit, fire of unknown origin destroyed several businesses. Then 2 more fires occurred, and finally in 1927, the post office closed, basically leaving the town as a ghost town.
It was those powerful, luscious women.
That many fires isn't an accident. One fire, not that many.
It was a mining town, so
all right.
You know,
it was and rage.
I guess it depends on how much booze they brought back.
Yeah.
If their booze was cast underground too.
They could have been moonshining and started.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Their stills went kapooey.
Yeah, their stills blew up.
So in 1965, the community of Oxbow was founded near Copperfield. And today, it's now Copperfield Park, which includes 12 acres of manicured lawn, paved roads, terrace landscaping, and numerous trees, as well as a campsite. So you can go to the campsite and probably have some booze.
Well, as
If
it
you're
should be,
boozy.
with your gunslinging, yeah, side piece. Gotcha.
I couldn't find a lot about Hobbes after this. I did find out that during World War One, she traveled with the Red Cross to France, where she assisted in the war effort. And she would
Woman was
pass
amazing.
away. Yeah, I know. She really is the
I don't
superhero.
understand how we have not heard of this woman. She really is like Wonder Woman.
I know. Somebody tell Netflix we want a limited series.
I feel like we should no.
You go right ahead. I'm a little busy. I'm a little busy with the Betty Project. I don't have time for this.
She's a little busy. She's a little busy writing some books now.
Yes.
See, I'm taking a trip to Oregon in April, so now I'm looking up to see we are actually going to be very close to where Copperfield
To Copperfield
Park
Park.
Jacqui.
Oh my gosh. Okay. You'll have
So
to do a little
we're-
trip and take a picture.
If I might be a little further than I'm thinking because no, it's further away than I thought it. It's more on the east side of the state. We're going more to the coast side because we're flying into
Okay.
Port.
If any listeners out there have been to Copperfield Park or live around it, you send us some pictures. You tell us what it's like. Is it a pretty place?
Yeah,
Jacqui,
it's-
I think Betty should research Fern for a bathtub Betty project.
Yep.
That's not the
It's
craziest.
no, it's not. It's on the border of Idaho and Oregon, so it's very like almost Idaho.
You know what? Maybe it would have to be like a mocktail recipe. That's what she could make one for, because obviously she wouldn't.
She can be
She's
fast.
too busy to cook. And I don't know that Betty wants to cook with lard.
Pie crust with lard is delightful.
It is. I'm not going to lie. You're right.
My granny made fried chicken with Crisco. So did Loretta Lynn in the commercials.
Oh my God. I haven't thought about Loretta Lynn in a minute.
I showed my age. Ugh, I hate when I do that.
Okay. Before we start our next article, what are some of the oddest things you guys have ever sent in the mail?
That we sent in the mail?
Yes. Oh,
answer
Sonia is laughing so hard and she's turning red. So
you don't
this
want to
has
know the
gotta
answer
be
to
good.
that.
Is it going to make the show X-rated?
Mm.
Dead.
No.
The oddest thing.
I think she's being sarcastic, folks. I don't think you know what? Y'all won't know what it is, but when we're done recording, I'm going to find out what it was.
Curious minds do.
I send a lot of mail out, though. I send a
You
lot
do?
of happy mail out.
I figured you would have sent out some pretty strange things.
I'm trying to think of the strangest
Maybe your second
thing.
strangest?
I don't even know what my first strangest thing is because I've sent out a lot of stuff.
I don't think I've said anything real strange. I really don't. I think I'm innocent in this. The halo is showing.
Our next article is about mail, and it takes place in February 1914. So this is a month after Fern Hobbes has put on her superhero cape. Little girl sent by mail as parcel post package.
Wait, what?
Is that like mail order bride?
Like little girl sent by mail?
Allow me to read.
Okay.
Little May Piersdorf, age 5 years, was sent from Grangeville to Lewiston on today's train as parcel post mail. The postage bill for the little girl and her suitcase was 53 cents. The entire package weighed 49 pounds. I was curious to know what 53 cents in today's money would be. All right, hazard your guesses, ladies. 53 cents, 1914. What are we talking in today's money?
$25.
I would say 75.
Sonia, you are closest,
Oh.
though you both went over. $17.
Oh.
$17 to send a kid.
I would hit return to sender, but okay.
Oh,
And undeliverable.
postage stamps were affixed to a small suitcase carried by the child, and she was taken to the depot along with the regular mail. She was consigned or addressed to C.G. Benagirholz, in whose home her grandmother awaits her, and who has doubtlessly received the package from the mail carrier earlier this hour. Little Miss Pierstorff is the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Pierstorff of this city. Her uncle, Leonard Moschel, is one of the mail clerks assigned to the run from Lewiston to Grangeville, though it is thought to be the first instance where a child has been sent through the mail since the inauguration of the parcel post system. On a short run like this from Grangeville to Lewiston, which can be made in a few hours, the stunt is doubtlessly unique and novel, though it is hardly probable that this mode of transportation will become universally popular. Thoughts on that?
It's not a package I want to get.
What is happening? She goes by train and then the person meets her and escorts her just like he does the other parts of the mail.
I'm thinking, I don't. So your parents take her to the postal for the train and they do this parcel because now this is the first time. This is when you can start shipping packages, was around this time.
I can't even get them to let me send books by mail half the time.
I'm like sitting here thinking
Like-
it's difficult to get mail, period.
Yeah.
But you're going to send a kid?
Why?
So did you guys think this was going to catch on?
No. I hope not.
No.
What was interesting was to find out she wasn't the first.
It's so weird. It gives me Anna Green Gables thoughts though when she's at the train station. But she didn't deliver. She wasn't delivered by mail.
First child mailed in the United States was an unnamed boy in Botvia, Ohio, mid-January 1913. He was carried by rural free delivery carrier Vernon Little to its grandmother, Mrs. Lewis Beeg, about a mile away. The boy's parents paid 15 cents for the stamps and even insured their son for $50.
Wow.
That's what really makes it. It's the fact that they insured him for $50.
I don't know. The whole concept to me is
weird.
January 27th.
I've never heard of this. Have you guys heard of this? I had never heard that children were sent by the mail in the early 1900s.
No.
Who are they being sent to?
Their grandparents.
Both cases, they're going to their grandparents.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess that's better than what I was thinking.
January 27th, a couple in Pine Hollow, Pennsylvania, entrusted their daughter to rural carrier James Byerly of Sharpsville, Pennsylvania, who delivered her safely that afternoon to relatives in Clay Hollow. That trip cost the parents 45 cents to send.
Ooh, getting pricey.
I know. Very interesting of the different rates. So May, the one that we first started with, she's actually the third kid to be sent by parcel post in the US. They're not done with this. Now, after May's incident and all the celebrity in the mail that went through, the Postmaster General issues a direction, says no more sending people in the mail. I didn't think I had to make this a rule. But now it's a rule. No more kids in the mail. Actually, it was all human beings.
Oh, I guess you need to be specific, or we start sending husbands away. Who knows?
No, that's something. Never mind.
I'm just saying.
Every rule is meant to be broken. So we have another case in, I think it's 1914. No, it's 1915. Rural carrier Nepler in Maryland carried a 14-pound baby from its grandmother's home in Clear Spring to her mother's house in Indian Springs, 12 miles away. A local reporter said that the baby slept through the entire trip.
14-pound baby?
Yes, so that's our youngest one.
So weird. Like, why?
And then we have the longest trip by a child mailed, and that was made by 6-year-old Edna Neff. She traveled from her mother's home in Pensacola, Florida, to her father's home in Christiansburg, Virginia.
Oh,
Pensacola to
wow.
Virginia. And she's going from mom to dad.
That's what I'm like. Oh, I didn't, that you don't hear that happening.
They were not
Divorced.
living together, I guess.
I guess this was cheaper than planes.
Yes.
Now, here's what's interesting is she was under the 50-pound limit. And so the trip cost 15 cents.
To go from
15
Florida to Virginia?
Yes. That's a bargain. That's $17 today.
Yeah.
Go by parcel post. Cost me 17 bucks.
No
Well,
kidding.
seeing how some of our partial posts are created or treated when they're sent, I don't know if I want to go that way. Box all banged up. How many times did you take to get the coffee mug, Jacqui? Can you imagine if you were shipped that way?
It would be a story.
Jacqui, I'm going to see if that's how I can get to visit you. I'll just see how much it costs to mail me.
Oh my gosh, please go into the post office and ask.
If it's per pound,
Awesome.
though, if it's per pound, we're screwed.
In March, a kid was sent by parcel post in Missouri for 10 cents. She was delivered to her grandmother, whose house was on the route. And then in September 1915, 3-year-old Maud Smith made her parcel post journey when she traveled from her grandparents' home to her mother's in Kentucky.
3-year-old Maud. Maud is
Maud.
such a 3-year-old name.
At that time, officials were beginning to investigate things. And Maud will go down in history as the last kid to be sent in the U.S. Man.
It's nuts to me. I can't even wrap my brain around it.
Of course, all this, I'm finding all this in my deep dive. I did find this out as well, that in all the instances, the children sent, there was like either a family member or somebody the family trusted who worked on the mail route. So they weren't being handed off to strangers. It was like an uncle or somebody that they knew. So it wasn't like they were just rando people, that it was people that the family trusted to take care of their kid.
There's that.
Were these kids better traveled than their parents? Especially, man, the one from Pensacola to Virginia.
For 15 cents.
Given this is a time when most people got from point A to point B by walking, the kids traveled.
Yeah.
Which is partly probably why they did use the mail system. It was their form of travel.
And it's, if train ticket would probably have been more expensive.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to have somebody watch them. So if you know somebody who worked for the mail system, they'll watch your kid and it's cheaper.
Wow.
So I'm just going to go put a roll of stamps on my backside and see if I can get to Detroit.
Do it.
Recently discovered that hitchhiking, people don't hitchhike like they used to anymore. Now there's hitchhiker apps. What the heck? You stick your thumb out. What do you mean this hitchhiker app shit?
Isn't that, what is the car service? Isn't that hitchhiker app?
Uber.
Isn't that like Uber? I guess you gotta pay for it.
I guess that app you could vet people a little bit. Not that people wouldn't lie, but I assume that's the reason.
Safety.
But I feel, yeah, that's what I mean.
That kind of makes it not hitchhiking though.
That's what I was about to say. I feel like hitchhiking
share a ride,
a free-spirited thing where you just take your chances. That's like part of the hitchhiking experience.
Yes. After watching the movie Monster with Charlize Theron, I don't think I would ever hitchhike. Ever.
There's a meme that's the person says, the hitchhiker says, were you scared that I was a serial killer? And the driver says, no, what are the odds that more than one person in the car is a serial killer?
Awesome.
I love that one.
Awesome.
But think about it. That like ruins this whole genre of horror films.
Right.
Because if they have this app now,
that's what I'm saying. It really
go
hitchhiking. It takes away from the spontaneity and the free-spiritedness of of hitchhiking. Like
my dad did it with me when I was a kid. We hitchhiked a few times.
Really? Did you ever get picked up?
Yeah, multiple times.
By people you knew or like random strangers?
Random strangers. Sometimes people we knew because I grew up in a small town, but
That's why I thought maybe it was
yeah,
everybody
but
we knew.
no, sometimes it was strangers. Like we hitchhiked to home from like St. Louis to home, and that was like 100, little over 100 miles, and I didn't know the person that picked us up, and we rode in the back of their truck, like in the truck bed.
Oh,
Oh,
I miss riding in the back of the truck.
right.
Kids, like they just don't understand the glories of making a turn and then you slide from one side to the other.
Yeah. My dad had a Jeep and he used to stand up in the back and hold onto the row bar at the top of the Jeep when he would take the top off. Kids don't know how to do that anymore.
My dad hooked up a sled to his Jeep, and that ended in a broken leg, but we had a good time.
Yeah.
Until the broken leg.
We had something end up in a broken leg. We stole my cousin Leslie's blue plastic pool, a little kiddie pool, and hooked it up to a four-wheeler and ran that through the woods and wrapped it around a tree. My cousin Craig got a broken leg out of that.
I feel like maybe hitchhiking is safer. Any of the stories.
The thing,
the
I'm
app.
lucky I'm not dead. I really am lucky I'm not dead. So some of the things we used to bridge
Make
jump.
like top 10 list of ways I didn't die in Missouri.
Yes.
Yeah.
I bridge jumped. I cave jumped. It was just stupid. I was a stupid teenager. In a pit full, basically there was a pit full of snakes. I jumped into that thing. Dumb.
Wait,
Dumb.
you
I jumped into a
jumped
quarry. Off of a cliff into a quarry when I was 19. Because someone
were
dared
you
me.
drunk?
No, someone dared me to, and you don't dare me to do things. Also, I don't know, I didn't really have a whole lot of, I was just trying to prove myself. Yeah.
I dare you to not put your life at risk
Oh, I won't do that anymore. I'm a
for the
chicken.
rest of your life.
At 14,
Double dog dare you.
at 14, I jumped off of 2 bridges.
Yeah, Joe.
Louise, but no, yeah, I did some things. I'm lucky I'm not dead.
Statistically, I think you should be.
Yeah, me too. Me
I
too.
didn't do any of these things, so I really.
I
Well,
did.
you lived off in Amish land.
Yeah. You didn't get to go hillbilly feral.
We did. The only thing that I can think that we took my friend Adam's farm truck. They just sit up a little higher because they're meant to be driven. And we did figure eights in a guy's cornfield, and a corn cob stuck the gas tank.
Oh,
It was
that
not good.
ended in a very bad evening.
Very badly. It was one of those times where we got caught and they said, we can call your parents or we can call the cops. I'm like, please call the cops. Please. And then we all detasseled corn for an entire summer. That's how it ended.
You never did that again.
No, but yeah, we didn't. Yeah, in an Amish community, we did sneak an Amish girl to a Cubs game. That was probably the worst thing I did. We convinced.
Ooh.
I think going to a Cubs game was probably the worst thing you did, but okay.
Ooh, those are fighting words.
I
I love
follow
my
baseball,
Cubs.
so sure, I'll agree. But we convinced this girl's parents, who was taking a group of us, that this girl had gotten permission from her parents. We lied, this didn't happen, and took her to a Cubs game, put her in regular clothes, took her hair down, and we got busted because this girl's name, it doesn't matter. Her name was Lenora May, and her twin sister, Lindora Faye, told on us because we didn't invite her.
Oh,
So Lindora Faye, no, I'm kidding.
she broke the sister code. You don't do
She sure
that.
did. She sure did.
Rat Fink.
Oh, I did some cornfield things myself, but there's not enough time or therapy. Yeah,
In
some
that
things
case,
I
it's-
can't talk about because they might have been a little illegal.
That's what we do after the record button's turned off.
Okey
Speaking
doke.
of turning off the record button, I think we're coming to our end here. Ladies, I want to thank you so much for joining me. This has been a hoot. I love having you two on here.
It was so much fun.
Yeah, it was
Those
fun.
stories were wild. The first one's amazing, and I'm gonna look up Fern. She's pretty incredible. The second story was just straight wild.
I have never mailed a child. Never will.
And a big thank you to all my listeners. You make this a joy. If you hadn't heard, I just released my debut novel, The Daphne Project, about a down on her luck librarian who inherits a house from her estranged aunt in Cobb, Maine. She arrives and delves into town secrets while making new friends and learning about herself. You may have overheard that I mentioned I'm working on the Betty Project. Yes, I am working on a sequel, but that's going to take a little time, so you'll hear updates who knows when on that. If you've read the Daphne Project and enjoyed it, please take a few minutes to go on Amazon and or Goodreads and leave a 5-star rating and review. It costs you nothing, but makes a big marketing difference here. I appreciate it. I hope you are taking care of yourself. Are you getting enough water? Spending a little time outside to connect with nature? Told those you care about how much they mean to you? Good. Keep at it. Until next time, I wish you well.